gentlemen, thank you for taking your time of your busy schedule and attending today's presentation. Before I start, I would like to thank Marlene for such a warm introduction and Central Asia program at GW for giving me this opportunity to expand on my research, analytical and communication skills. So my research is focused on mining sector of Kyrgyzstan and the challenges that local communities face in living, experiencing and interacting with mining sites. Globally in Kyrgyzstan, local communities tend to consider that mining development didn't bring any prosperity, neither for the country nor for the local communities living near the mines. So in particular, I studied my home region, Talas Rayon, where 3 out of 8 big mines of the country are located. And my research is based on my personal experience working as a head of EITI public reception, the microdata that I have collected during my work, and a survey that I have conducted with local communities. Although Talas region is considered to be rich in natural resources and minerals, it still largely depends on agriculture. Statistics of 2015 indicates that 2/3 of total employment in the region is made by agriculture industry. Talas is also a highly politicized region. For instance, second Kyrgyz revolution of 2010 started from here with the first protest against increase in electricity tariffs. And currently the government issued 21 licenses for mining development and primarily for gold, copper, iron and marble production. There are 4 mining sites, as I mentioned, Jeru, Andash, Talgabulak and Aktash, where the production is not launched yet because these mines are still in exploration phase. But local communities are already negotiating their grievances. Negotiating their grievances, both social and environmental, and since 2005 they have been demanding to close the mines and set a moratorium for 15 years because of the negative impact on their agricultural incomes. And in these 3 mines there have already been many conflict cases, both peaceful and violent. And contributing factors include, but not limited to, political instability, frequent changes in legal framework, frequent changes in license ownership, court cases, and demonstrations of local communities. And so far, none of these 3 mines have entered to exploitation phase. Moreover, we know that some of the protests, in fact, are not spontaneous, but organized by oppositional parties who fund the protesters to advance their own agenda and show some instabilities in the region. And it especially happens when the election is due to come. To mitigate and prevent the conflicts, different actors have tried to tackle conflict resolution and cooperation approaches. In Talas, there are about 5 donor-funded NGOs who works on conflict resolution and building stakeholders cooperation between stakeholders, and they usually organize capacity building activities, conduct dialogue platforms for stakeholders to cooperate and fund different information and consultation activities. And the mining companies who started to cooperate with local communities only after violent conflicts. And some of the companies, especially Western ones, they established communication teams to deal with the local communities. And they involve members of local communities to different monitoring activities, as well as fund social projects like building infrastructure or providing stipends for the local youth. One of the key issues with the local government that they don't see their role in involving local communities in decision-making process, and as well as responding to locals' needs and concerns. They have a tendency to deal directly with mining companies and discuss contract and taxation and other issues, and adoption of new law on subsoil that was adopted in 2012, which demands greater transparency in licensing, in contracting, as well as fair distribution of the revenues coming from the mining development, didn't really change anything on the ground. So in my research, I was interested in exploring what local communities think of these approaches and what they want and what they wish for in the future. I reached out 44 representatives of local communities, several NGOs, and 4 donors, and I asked what they think of their priorities, and here I am today presenting you my 4 main findings. The first finding is that different actors have different agendas. For instance, national and local government tries to convince local communities by explaining economic benefits from the mining development, whereas local communities are concerned about short and long-term impact from the mining activities. And NGOs who talks about EITI standards, transparency and accountability, good governance, and the mining companies who promote their social benefits, their job opportunities, and contribution to the taxes. The second finding is that focus of the trainings need to be changed. Respondents think that the capacity building activities conducted by NGOs on the topics like EITI, standards, transparency and accountability are not applicable in the region just because the production phase is not launched yet. And moreover, these capacity building activities are often complicated and overhauled by technical details, so it's really hard to understand for local communities. Instead, they ask more trainings on monitoring and analyzing decisions and policies with regards to the mining sector, short and long-term impact on the environment from the extractive industry, and beneficial ownership. Local communities, they want more environmental mitigation and offset programs, and also ask government and mining companies to be transparent and accountable through all mining life cycle. The third finding is that local communities, they say that they could be influential, but they're not empowered to act in their interest. Indeed, 2/3 of my respondents consider that they could potentially influence decisions and policies with regards to mining by participating in public hearings, competitions, and auctions for the right of subsoil usage. And but they always lack of communication and information resources. And as you can see, less respondents think that they can influence decisions by indirect participation, like monitoring activities, writing petitions. However, when we see, sorry. However, when we see, when we look at numbers, we see that in reality, people are not participating. Local communities tends to rely on local power brokers who have their own agenda, obviously, and these communities, they never have powerful ties across the communities and don't form kind of networks and associations to defend their rights. And several conclusions can be drawn from my analysis. The first one is that it's naive for local communities to hope that moratorium on the exploitation will be continued, because most probably that these mines will be launched and operational in the near future. The second conclusion is that even though there have been many changes into different laws and regulations in Kyrgyzstan, there is still mistrust between local communities and the government. Third is the agendas and approaches of different actors like NGOs, government, and mining companies are not coherent, and there is still lack of shared agenda. And the last one is that capacity building programs have learning objectives which are too complicated, abstract, and they don't really address local communities' needs and concerns. So here are my recommendations. I will focus on one recommendation for each stakeholder, and another recommendation will be explained in depth in my research paper. There is a need for promoting community-based natural resource management to make greater cooperation between local communities, government, and mining companies. And to this to be effective, donors they need to help to establish community council. And some cases from African countries is a good example of the best practices to follow. And the mining companies, in their part, have to involve these community councils in their development and implementation of their activities, such as hiring, social corporate responsibility, or monitoring activities. And it's really a critical issue in case of Kyrgyzstan. Local government, they should involve these councils in their decision-making process, as well as empower these councils. So, thank you.